Okay, second example. So g of x equals 0 if x is less than negative 4, negative x if negative 4 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 0, and x squared if x is greater than or equal to 0. So here the only difference is now we have 3 graphs. The process is still the same. So first thing we have g of x equals 0 if x is less than negative 4. So if we make a table, what are our x values? Negative 4, and what's the number less than negative 4? Negative 5. Okay, for both of these, no matter what we plug in, our y value is going to be 0. So our first one ordered pair is negative 4, 0, and is it going to have an open or closed circle? Open. And at the ordered pair negative 5, 0, we know we have a point, but is it going to continue to be an open, closed, or arrow? Arrow. Okay, so if we go graph that, we have an open circle at negative 4, 0, a point at negative 5, 0, and it's going to continue going to the left. Okay, our second portion of our graph says g of x equals negative x if negative 4 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 0. Since you're given two numbers, these are going to be the two x values that you're putting in your table. Okay. You don't need to find a mid-third point. You can if you want, where we're just going to use the shape of the graph to help us. So we're using negative 4 and 0. So if we have negative 4, what does that equal? Positive 4. So at the ordered pair negative 4, 4, we have an open or closed circle? Closed. Okay. Negative 0 is just 0. So we have the ordered pair 0, 0, which is going to give us a open circle. Good. Okay, so if we plot those 2 points, we have negative 4, 4, which is closed. And at 0, 0, it's open. What's the shape of this graph if it's just negative x? It's just a line. Good. So we're just going to connect it with a straight line. You always want to check that in case it's a parabola or a v, just so that way in case there's something else happening in between those two x values. Okay. And our third part. We have g of x equals x squared if x is greater than or equal to 0. So when we make our table, what values of x do you want to use? 0 and 1. Okay. 0 squared? 0. So we have the ordered pair 0, 0, which is going to be open or closed? Closed. Okay. 1 squared, which is 1. And at the ordered pair 1, 1, are we going to have open, closed, or arrow? Arrow. Okay, there's a couple things we want to talk about with this. So we have a closed circle now at 0, 0, but we already had an open circle. The closed circle is going to override it and it's going to fill it in. Okay. We also have the point 1, 1. But is that graph going to look like this? Is it going to be a straight line? No, because we had g of x equals x squared, which we know to be what shape? A parabola. So this would be an instance where it doesn't hurt to plug in another x value. So let's go ahead and plug in 2. And what is 2 squared? 4. So we have the ordered pair 2, 4, still with an arrow, But it's just going to help us get a better idea of the shape of the graph based off the prior knowledge we already have. Questions?